Like 100,000 views, which
Wow.
so like it just honestly, I tell people like I obviously there's a lot of strategy involved in YouTube, but some of it is just the luck of the draw. And I hate to like make it so like abstract, but we don't even always know why we blow up. And so it's hard to replicate, it's hard to tell people, but like that's just how it happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. That's pretty crazy.
That is.
It just like that's like an overnight celebrity right there type
That
of thing.
is.
Well, it just like and it wasn't even that 4,000 to like 20 or 25,000 is that big of a jump in as far as the numbers in YouTube land, but it's what started rolling the success, the higher views, actually making some money in AdSense. Because I was maybe making, $50 or $75 a month on AdSense, and then all of a sudden it was much more substantial amounts of money that you can actually feel like you're doing something in a side hustle. And it literally was just something that I had noticed that the first screen printing video that I did back in March had done really well. It got 12,000 views, which at that time was massive for me. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Yeah. And so as I was looking at my fall content, I was like, oh, I need to do another screen printing video. So I taught people how to screen print with 2 colors using registration marks and basically like 2 different screens. And honestly, it's not even a very good video. Like I literally ripped my screen mid video. Okay. I ripped it and I had to tape it over and then like cut that part out so I could do the second color. It's not good at all. And it's the one that everyone has seen. It's the way that everyone finds me. And I'm like, great. This is a wonderful reputation.
It shows real life though, real things happening, and that's what more people relate towards. So.
And I just put tape over it and it worked. I mean, it wasn't cute, but it worked.
It worked. That's right. Efficiency at best.
You have a good on-camera personality though.
Yes.
I think the charisma helps too. I think like that's what I tell people is like, I'm a people person first. I'm a crafter second. And I think that was big too, because like also, so I was telling, I'm sorry, how do you pronounce your name again? Seak. Okay. With an S, right? Okay. Yeah. I was telling Seak about how when I got my start, I worked for a vinyl company and I started DIY Alex at the same time because they suggested it. So I was going live with them. So it's now, and you can leave this in or take it out if you want to, but I worked for formerly 651vinyl.com, now 143vinyl.com.
Okay.
For over 2 years. Wow. So with them, I was going live every week. I was managing their Facebook group. Like I was their social media girl. So I was going live at work and then I was coming home and going live at night with my channel. And I think that almost like the immersion experience of me just doing a ton of crafting, trying new products, because we released new products every Thursday. So we came up with Treat Yourself Thursday. So every Thursday we were releasing something new. I was on the live with my coworker, Heather, like making projects. I think that was really helpful for me because it got me a lot of experience quickly. It got those nerves over with quickly. I called myself the wrong name. I ripped my pants. Like I did all kinds of stuff on lives over the course of those 2 years. And so it pretty much took the nerves away because I'm like, it doesn't get any worse than the other stuff I've already done.
Right.
Like,
right.
What can you even say?
Yeah.
So I think that was a big help too.
You said you ripped your pants on live.
On live.
Yeah. Real classy, but just real life. And so we would just have the best time, or we would go live from the Starbucks parking lot. That was our other thing, is when we didn't have time to do a craft or like we were advertising a sale, we would go to Starbucks and we would get on their Wi-Fi and go live from my car, just from like the front seat, and have my phone in between us. And we, so we were obnoxious. We were just like laughing and being crazy, and people thought that was so funny. And as a result, it made me so comfortable on camera. Like a conversation in person and a conversation on camera to me are basically the same.
Yeah.
And I don't think that people without that much exposure get that comfortable that quickly.
Well said.
And we have some transfers up on the pressing area that we've had for like a month, 2 months. And when we peel off, some of them still have that oil, but most of them don't.
Easy money.
I'm not gonna lie and say we don't make that mistake. That happens too. But if it happens 95% of the time, you got to look at your settings.
Easy money. So how would a person order?
Well, they can order through the website. If you have a gang sheet, you can go to merchstudio.co/order, and you can upload your gang sheet there. It's going to compute everything, including the discounts if you reach the thresholds. If you don't have a gang sheet but you have your PNGs, we also have a designer in there. It's set up for 22 by 12 and 22 by 60. And you can just, upload and click and drag and resize right there and create your gang sheet there.
How much is a 22 by 60?
22 by 60 is $40.
Still not bad.
Beat that at all.
Yeah, yeah. You got a headlock on the market right now. Okay.
Well, I hope so. And I've seen some people that are, they price higher, and that might be because of their cost too. Yeah. Some of them have their warehouses, and I don't know where they're getting their inks and all that stuff. They might be, getting it from a higher priced supplier. Mine is DTF Superstore. I'm super transparent about everything. So if you want to see what inks I'm using, if you want to use the same inks, how much they are, you can check over there.
So it's a competitive market right now.
It is.
I want to give you a scenario. I got $1,000. I want to hop in the DTF business. Is this possible?
You want to print the transfers?
I want to print the transfers.
Okay. All right. Well, you can get an Epson printer, and you can convert it. Which all that means is the bottom one of the roller. I think it's the bottom. I'd like to say the bottom roller, maybe the top roller. You take it off, and then get some CAD software, some RIP software, and that in itself, I think, is at least $300. So the printer, I'm not sure how much the printer is. Would you be able to with 1,000? It would be really difficult, but if you go on Craigslist and if you're very, very imaginative, you can resource or repurpose an oven or something. You could probably do that. What I would suggest though is with 1,000, and I'm not saying this because I sell transfers. You don't have to buy transfers from me, but what I would suggest is use that 1,000, get a wholesale account, and then outsource your transfers there and save up the money until you can get, I would say, a large format printer. And the reason for that, there's two reasons for that, right? Number one, if you have the money to get a large format printer, that's so much easier. You can probably print at least 100 feet per day minimum, maybe 150. And some people do 300 feet, with their large format printers with the two print heads. That's probably about $17,000, right? You can save up to buy that cash, or you could go through financing, pay like $800 a month, right? But I wouldn't do that in the beginning because first you have to have proof of concept. First, you have to prove to yourself that you have a market out there.
Period.
It was your big dog Molly Maw. You're now rocking with a Squad Creators podcast on the TSH.
I'm like, and I was seeing how they're registering those. I'm like, that's cool. And then I watched some video of a dude showing you how you have to burn that screen like perfect.
Yeah.
And like, there's no adjustments that you can do with those other machines. So I'm like, okay, that's a flaw. I just start picking up the flaws, and I'm like, yeah, okay, like, nah, that's I can do that way better. Like, that's a cool idea. Then I'm like, okay, like I'm good at just combining different things. And so once I had the idea in my head, I'm like, okay, now there's no machine that could do this. There's no machine that could do that. Like, you can't break that machine apart. Like, you can start with just one and make it to 100. I'm like, yeah, Fractals is gonna be able to do that because that's where I started. I started with a one station 4-color. Like, that's where a lot of us start. I didn't know I was gonna be here 12 years later, like, still printing, making a machine. I didn't know I was gonna invent a machine when I first started.
Yeah.
but I got in the machine and was like, dang, this shit it needs to be better. Like, like
that's actually what I was going towards, because now you envisioned it and then you built it, man. Like, you ahead of your time, man. People don't think like that. Some folks do. I'm not gonna say everybody don't think like that, but the majority of people that I've come across, they don't think like that. They don't envision like that. Like, that's genius level. You know what I'm saying? That's something out of the box completely. I'm thinking of screen printing. I'm thinking of grabbing the traditional screen print. You thought of a whole new way to do screen printing. Not just thought of it, you brought it to life with your creation. And I gotta give you your flowers, man. In other words, that's what I'm leading up to, because that's something you just don't see or you don't hear about a lot. Just giving you your flowers.
Period. Not to mention to challenge comfortability, what people are used to. You went above and beyond the average. You know what I mean? Like you said, screen print is one of the oldest printing methods ever, and you found a way to revolutionize and better and speed up that process. Like this, like they say, we all have jobs as human beings in this world. We're here for a reason. Fractals was yours, brother. You created something that a necessity, something that's needed for the industry. That, as moving forward, man, it's gonna be a big thing.
Man,
You know what I mean?
That means a lot, bro. For real, I appreciate it, man. And like, to me, it feels like it's a natural progression. It feels natural for me to see something, and once I use it, figure out how it can be better.
Period.
And you know what I mean? That I think I've always done that as a kid or whatever it may be. If I don't feel like I can improve it, I'm not gonna mess with it. Like, that's just, and so when I got into it, I figured, this can definitely be improved. Like, and you see, even as how and where we print, really where we print, and all that has changed. Like 5 years, 10 years ago, there wasn't like really markets. You're not popping up and doing like pop-up shops. Brands weren't as accessible. Everybody just wasn't popping up doing a brand. You know what I mean? Like 10 years ago, like when I first started with a branding, like, oh man, you got a brand. Like, everybody didn't have that type of access.
Period.
And so now, as that access and that knowledge is being more openly used, like, to me, it only makes sense. You gotta improve. That's like when we start off with the TV and it was black and white, and everybody was like, man, it's good enough, bro. You can see people from across around the world. You don't got to get no better. Like, no other industry really stayed at that point. But I felt like screen printing hasn't really changed much. Like,
got a job, hated the job, wasn't crazy about San Francisco. I just spent a couple years like literally banging through my life trying to find what on earth to do. So I traveled for a little bit in 2019, and I was like, I just really want to calm down and get this right and not get into another job where I hate whoever. So I ended up crossing paths with Nabil, my CEO, on LinkedIn. And that was about end of 2019, right before COVID. Mm-hmm. And they were still relatively, I'm not small, but they'd never done any marketing. They had never done any branding. They had never done, and it was really, anyway, so I came in and I kind of had to tell them, like, well, this is what you need. This is marketing. This is branding. And which was kind of fun because everybody else I've worked for has been an expert on everything, and these guys were kind of like, no, we need some fresh perspective. We need somebody who is thinking differently. It's gotten old, like, it's become redundant and we look at it all the time. So we don't know what needs to be improved. So I got in there and party of one, and I hired an old friend to be my graphic designer. He's a freelancer. Well, then COVID hit, literally like 6 weeks after I started.
Mhm.
And, companies were having to make decisions about what they did. And I knew how expendable I was because marketing is an extra for a company that's strapped. And I told Nabil, I was like, listen, my first touch point is not sales. My effort is going to be long tail. So I'll give that to you, but I can't give that to you in the next couple of months. So trust me, and he did. And we survived sort of the brunt of COVID. And then I ended up, so really I was brought on in a marketing role, but because they didn't even know where to begin with marketing. I mean, they had some ideas like do this. And I'm like, no, that's not right. But smile and nod. And they were cool with that. It's very much a family run business, which I operate the best in. And so I just kind of started slowly figuring out, letting this brand figure out who this brand was, like letting it figure out. So I ended up hiring my photographer from Kaufman, which was pretty, I don't know if you go to the site and the photography is like smashing. And it's thanks to my homie from New York. He's on a freelance basis with us, but I knew, because Kaufman, I knew photography. I knew how important it was, beautiful imagery, the right language, you know what I mean? And we just slowly kind of started. And I think what has been advantageous, which I didn't necessarily know at first, was I've never worked in this industry. So I don't know the shtick. I don't know what's trending, what's not trending, and people would be like, check out, like people would forward me emails from Bella and it'd be like, DTG's best friend. They're like, this is genius. Check this out. I'm like, what is DTG? Like, I didn't know. But I think what has worked is that because I don't know the industry as well, I'm not conforming to the talking points.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's kind of gone rogue, and it's very much kind of its own indie thing. And like, it's not trying to be Bella, and it's not trying to be, it's very much become itself. Like it's its own deal. And
everyone, it's Claudia with Pink Teas and Things, and today you're tuning in to Squad Creators Podcast on TSH Network.
On point at all. And so I didn't really have anybody with any leadership in my life. So once I figured out how to like do that, like figure that out, follow like a moral compass and follow code, I realized how much happier I was. And when I figured that part out, I was like, man, I got to teach this to other people. I got to show people how to vibrate a lot higher, how to raise your frequency, how to get out of this, like this victim mindset and all these bad, low frequency things happening to you. Like I figured out how to break the matrix in that sense. And so it was like, I got to teach other people. And so I started surrounding myself with winners. Everybody I was with was just getting it. Every single person, every single day was at the highest level of whoever the hell they were. You know what I mean? And then I was just like, man, I'm surrounding myself with winners. This is like a winner circle. And I just started saying that winner circle. I just kept repeating that theme. And I was like, man. And then I started these runs on Sunday mornings where I would go running in the hills in Idaho. And I started posting like, yo, I'm over here. And people were like, yo, can I jump in on these runs with you? And then it went from like me just doing it by myself to like 40 people jumping in and coming on a weekend to just change their life because they believed in my message. So I was like, man, like there's something here. You know what I mean? Like I got to do something with this winner circle thing. So I started making challenges and people started joining the challenges, losing weight. I just started just being a leader in that sense of just like, like thought leadership, better way to live, diet wise, like just a lot of different things, like just being a man in general or being a good woman and what that means and just getting up early and getting after it, just having that winner circle like mentality. So I'm just trying to show other people that's how you do it. And that's what that program is to me.
Yeah, man, that's amazing, brother.
Very impactful. Thank you for that. You know, I needed to hear that. You have very high hunger, I should say, for knowledge and reading books. What attracted you to being in the books and the knowledge part? What brought you to that point?
Well, okay, that's also a good question. This is a good interview. Thank you for this. When you want, so when I figured out how to design my life, I figured out how to manifest the things that I wanted very specifically. And when you're clear on who you want to be, eventually, like if you start doing the things that type of person that you want to be does, you become that person. And the person that I wanted to be operates at a very high level. The person that I want to be in this life before my journey's done operates at a very, very, very high level. It is nonstop. It is serving others. It is just nonstop blessings, like everywhere I go. And that person, when you look at that person, like, what does that person do on a daily basis? How does this person act? What does this person eat? How does this person interact with people? What type of bank account does this person have? What kind of car does this person drive? How does this person dress? What does their facial features look like? Like, what does that person's body look like? What are they, just everything. And one of the habits that person has is reading every single day and learning something new every single day. Mm-hmm. So that is why, because of who I want to be, I do that now. And that's becoming the fabric of who I am.
Yeah, man. Since we're on that topic, man, you got any good books you can suggest?
Well, I mean, what's the topic? What are we looking for?
Maybe T.D. Jakes.
Okay, T.D. Jakes, Don't Drop the Mic. That's an amazing book. I'm reading it currently. If you're looking for manifestation, visualization, like creating something from your mind's eye into reality, into something you physically hold, a book called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne.
I've read that.
That was the very first book I ever read. Another one is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon.
Of the industry, man.
Yeah, man. Look, so this has been something I've been working on and just trying to understand, man. I've talked to like 3 or 4 crafters, like serious, sizable content creators that are crafters, trying to understand their market. And then, we got our lane here in the middle there, and then you got the professionals. So one thing that I think kind of makes me unique is I maneuver throughout all 3 segments with no problem. Like I sit in the room and talk to the professional screen printer with 13 autos or whatever 5-6 autos and big staffs. I also talk to you guys or people at this level with their home-based businesses or brands, and then I go talk to the crafters, like my homegirl Jennifer Sanderson. Man, we probably talk 3 times a week for at least an hour. Like if we get off the phone in 15 minutes, somebody was super busy. But just to understand the needs, and everybody has different needs and wants from everything that they're doing from that standpoint. So I came up basically there's 5 segments to this industry. There's the crafter, which that person is doing it for fun. They're doing it out of the love. They are the artists of our industry. I look at what they make, like, how the hell did you even come up with that? And they ain't only making t-shirts either. So they making all types of crazy stuff. And then you have the maker, who they make stuff, but they also make it with the intent on selling it. So it's the crafter version of the moneymaker, right? And so that's 2. So you got the crafter, you got the maker, then you got the home-based, small-based business, the small business, the hustler, right? And that person could be anywhere to like a manual shop, single machine, owner operated, doing everything themselves, may get a little bit of help from their counterpart, may get a little bit of help here and there when things get busy, no true employee, right? So you got that person, and pretty much parallel to that person is the same level, but that is the brand. Right? These people at this level, they're creating a brand now to do whatever, the same thing that the other, the small biz, the true print shop type of idea, they're doing the same thing. They're selling this stuff with the intent of making money, to make life better, to leave their jobs. They can grow up big enough, whatever that may be. That is their intentions of kind of getting that stuff or doing it. They're out here to make money and make business, to do whatever they need to do with the money. And then the top right there is the professional. And that person has multiple employees. They not printing no more. They not pulling a squeegee. They're out here. And listen, this is loosely. You know, some people might be professional. They may be the only one. It may be family owned. It's him and a guy and his wife or something like that too. So there's definitely segments in there that, you know, you can swing, but that's pretty much how it goes, you know? And if you look at it, you can progress throughout this. You got to figure out where you want to go and how you want to get there.
Absolutely. So you touched on some of the events, man. What type of upcoming events? What are the upcoming events you are going to be attending?
So I'm going to try to do this without the calendar. I'm going to grab a calendar if I need it. First and foremost, I got Hackensack, New Jersey, Total Ink Solutions doing an open house. That's right on the border of New York. For all the people out there in New York who've been like, yo, you got to get up to New York. Listen, I hate going into New York. So this is like 5 minutes across the bridge from New York. Lou out there got a great shop, man. That's where I started. He gave me my first opportunity as a content creator back in the day. He got he pretty much has everything in that place. All the screen printing, everything that you could possibly want from a distributor he has. And I'm going to hang out with them out there on September 10th, Hackensack, New Jersey. Follow that up with the next weekend. I am going to Charlotte, North Carolina with the Start Here Academy. That's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which is the Graphics Expo in Charlotte, North Carolina. Follow that up. I am actually going to a Screen Print 101, and that is September 22nd, 23rd in Arizona at Workhorse.
And that's where I think my creative mindset comes from, that I had all that time. Because I was on a 23-on-1 for almost a year, and I had all that time to think, create what I'm going to do. Write it down. You know how you do. You keep your notes, you know what I'm saying? You come home with, look like rap sheets.
Yeah.
You know? And that's how it was. That's how I think, you know what I'm saying, that my creativity is starting to pick up from that. I'm drawing from my hurt, and I'm turning my passion, man, in my designs and in my artwork. You know what I'm saying?
Period.
Yeah.
23-1 though, so you got to think 23-1. You in that cell 23 hours a day, so you got to make a choice. Do I want to get on his phone and talk to my family, or do I want to get in the shower and wash my butt?
Now, Zeke, how many people you see couldn't make that?
Nah, couldn't, man. A lot of people, man. Like,
you see some people, man, like this, man, hanging themselves, man.
Yeah, real talk, man. Like, it's not for the, like I say, man, you got to be strong. Like, it's survival. It's like being in the wilderness, and it's like naked and afraid or something, you know, with your clothes on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm you know, I always got to make light of something because I don't want to get emotional. But like, really, man, it's like being in the wilderness. Like, you guys seen the show Naked and Afraid. You got to get out there. You just got to survive for everything you need. That's prison. They'll give me the little basics, but if I want to use this nasty Bob Barker soap that after I take a shower, I still feel dirty, I got to figure this out. Right. And if I ain't got nobody at home to help me, that's going to send me some money or whatever, man, or I got to go be a janitor, clean the hall, push a broom for this little $27 a month. You know what I mean? Like, whatever the case, you got to do what you got to do. You know?
And that's what I say, man. I pull from that. That's why you see the energy. That's why you see me. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, I don't have no time to be all mad and sad coming over here. Yeah, you know, nah, man. I'm coming over here, man. I'm bringing it. I'm bringing the energy, man.
That energy.
So
those in TV land, you just heard. You know, I mean, some may be on the fence of what they want to do, but you just heard what life could be versus what it could be. Listen. It's rough out here, and it can get definitely treacherous, but it's all in the decisions that you make. So, Greg, you went to a couple of shows this year. I'm gonna say all of them, bro. You've been all of them. Man.
We still got some more to go to, man.
Let's talk about some of these shows, man. The first, Made to Hustle.
Oh yeah, the Made to Hustle, man. That was an experience. First, let me say the experience because, you know how when the COVID everything opened up, you know, everybody, you know, plane tickets went up. I was like, man, I can't pay $1,000 for a round trip for one person to go to Texas. So my man Stan said, man, Greg, I want you there, man. I need your support. I said, you know what? All right. I talked to my wife. Man, we drove 17 hours, man, from North Carolina to Texas, brother. You know what I'm saying? And we made it there. We experienced it. I was able to get in the Maid Lab. I met Ryan, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, man, with the screen prints, had a good time. You know, I got a lot of information out of it. You know, heard from Rich. That was my first time meeting Rich. JT Hustle. You know, already met A-Dove and you know, of course, Stan, you know, Rum for Super Color. Man, I just had an experience down there, man, to talk about how to market and stuff like that. You know, learned a lot from that, you know, made the hustle.
Yes, sir.
The experience with the 17 hours, though.
Yeah, man.
That's a heck of a try.
Right.
Shout out.
I'm Danish Kasamali with Silky Socks. You're now rocking with the Squad Creative Podcast on the TSH network.
And be able to dynamically change to the marketplace and not just like ride or die with your first, you know, great idea or what you felt like was an idea or a niche that you're trying to fall in.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah. And this is what we're all going through with this direct to film transfers right now. You know, there are, you know, Cricut has put 1 million people out there with cutters, and there's still some good uses for cutters. But even before the Cricut craze, I had bought it was a really nice, when I had my garage shop, it was a really nice high-end cutter that I used off of Illustrator, some German name. I can't think of it right now, but I thought to myself, man, I could just cut anything. And then the first time I got a order for 50 names on the back of a one color printed t-shirt, and then I had to lay out, cut, weed, and do all those names. I was like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? This is, you know, it's novel if I want to do one shirt or something. But I was like, the labor intensity, the time, especially if you're a one-man show, I always look for things that that allow me to not invest as much time or money sitting on the shelf. And that's why I think that this direct to film is a huge game changer. I'm already using it for hats. I've got my second t-shirt order that we're not going to screen print. This thing had like 8 colors and gradients on the front and 6 colors on the back for 36 shirts. That doesn't work in a screen printing environment. And so I'm like, hey, this is a technology, and I'm going to use it. And I'm going to put it on all kinds of stuff. I see people decorating kids' jeans with it. That's going to be on a national level. You know, they're selling to Kohl's. I literally had a guy that he's a big time player came in my office out of the blue, wanting us to run some program for Allen Houston has a company called Fizzle, and they do a lot of NBA stuff. And we had run some of his stuff before, and this guy had picked up the ball and wanted us to run some more of it. But I showed the direct-to-film to him, and he's like, hold on a minute, let me go to my car. And he goes, we're doing these for Kohl's. And it was a pair of kids' jeans that had like 5 cartoon logos over seams and everything. And I'm like, holy crap, you know, this is you know, talk about one of a kind stuff and full color and just wham bam out the door. It's if I was starting over from scratch, that's what I would be at right now for sure.
So last interview, or last interview or the first time we interviewed you, part one, you mentioned that vinyl is dying or is going to be dead soon, and
that kind of hurt.
DTF is like the radio or video of radio, right? Or you know what I mean? What I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I just honestly the you know vinyl, like I said, it's labor intensive. And so if you were doing a prototype or a couple of shirts, or maybe 4 shirts for the bowling team or something simple, but you know what it's like to try to weed out text and inside the E's and all of that. I mean, it's great that you can do that right on the spot. And it's still great for sign making and, you know, there's all kinds of stuff. You know, people will make a stencil for screen printing instead of a film. They can make it out of vinyl and, you know, apply it and then make a little silk screen out of it. But honestly, to be able to do full color that quick and in any low number quantity, it just doesn't. The more people I show this to, the more people that are amazed by it. And I always had a bias, you know, if it wasn't screen print, then it was just some cheapy application that, and I had to, you know, I had to look at this from a different standpoint. And that's exactly what I did is I found Gerald, I sent him a file. He sent me these things back and I started practicing and testing it. And I was like, man, people like this, you know, even more than what I did, you know? So.
And you said Gerald, that's Merge Studios, right?
Yeah. And you should definitely have this guy on here because he is a true.
The easy stuff, you know, like the typed out statements, or grab a graphic and then just design the expressions around the graphic. And then like 10% for a while I used Fiverr. I got a couple good designs from Fiverr. And then my last design that came out like it's like the best design I ever put out. I'm not trying to see if it's next to me. I found somebody on Instagram, a graphic designer that I'm using now to draw out my designs. But most of them is just, you know, Canva, quick little. It don't take much as long as it's hitting that passion that they have, that thing that they love is speaking to that, like coffee and stuff like that, then it's up. But there's that little percentage that I'm like, can you draw this with that and that?
Yeah. I know how that goes. So I'm about to try to cheat the system right here. Can we get some free game? Because I asked this because like I got 2 brands I want to work on. I'm an amputee, if you didn't know. So I have a brand for amputees that I'm working on, and then I have another, basically a hip hop related brand I want to do. Right. Ooh. So say I'm coming to Coach T. I have all my design. I got hella designs, but I don't know where to start. What's Coach T gonna tell?
Did you free? Look like you froze. So you got a bunch of design. You want to come out with the brand, and you got a whole lot of designs, and you don't know where to start. So my thing would be get some feedback, right? You need to put it out there and see what the audience says, right? So on your social, well, when you say where to start, do you have an audience already, like people already, a community already?
I'm assuming just the folks that's following us here on here.
Yeah, I would just put it up there and get some feedback on it. Like, would you rock this? Yes or no? Like, just put some of the, like, narrow down out of all those designs. You know, you can't put them all out. Narrow down 3 to 5. Put them in front of people. Get feedback from people and see what it hit for. Or you can even do like one of the things that I teach is create content with it on your body. Just create that one, right? If you got, see, I don't have a vinyl cutter, but that would be the beauty or something like that to just make the one. Create social media content with it on, but don't mention it. Create a relatable video. You know it's funny. You know it's probably gonna pop with the product on, but don't say anything about the product. And then the audience, when they start saying the shirt though, when they start popping off, then you're gonna know, ooh, this a winner. So I would either do that or I would actually put up the mock-ups and say, would you rock this? Like, or do surveys of people you know. Typically not people you know though, because they're gonna probably say they like it. But
Yeah,
that's what
sure.
I would that's what I would do.
Thank you. So that the video you said about just doing that video and just wearing your stuff, that's one of the videos I saved of yours on TikTok. But and then shout out to you for your TikTok. That's how I discovered you initially, was from TikTok. And I saw it, I was like, ooh, I like her. And it took me, I watched you for a long time before I asked you to come on the show. And for those that don't know, this is like one of them 17th time is a charm to get here. So we're blessed to have you here today. All the stuff we went through to get here. But like, since I mentioned that, please shout out your socials one time. So anybody that's watched to this point can know where to find you.
Yeah, so it's the T Academy. It's super easy. The TEE Academy, and that was a play on being a teacher, t-shirts, and my name is Latanya, Tanya. So it was just a play on all of that. So that's where the name came from. But the T Academy I have a YouTube. I'm supposed to get back on there and start putting stuff up there. But YouTube, Instagram, TikTok is all the same spelling. So follow for sure, especially if it is not even just for t-shirt brand owners. So I put a lot of content out for product-based businesses. So if you got a product-based business, I'm gonna give you things people pay for, especially my lives. I go live every Monday. Every Monday I do a masterclass Monday, and it's literally like a masterclass on TikTok and Instagram live at the same time. So people flock to my lives because they get real value, real information that they go back and do, and they come back and say, "Oh my God, that worked. My video did this. Oh, I got some sales because I did XYZ." So that's what filled me. So leaving the classroom and all of that, this is filling me because it's the same thing. So like the whole T Academy, yeah, the name of it and the whole impetus behind it is me to pour back into brand owners to empower them, to equip them. So I'm still a teacher. It's just like in a different realm. So follow the socials for sure because I'm gonna teach you.
I've seen a lot of testimonials. I think it was on your website, or it might have just been on your Instagram, of people having 3-4 figure months. How does that make you feel as being the one at the top that's teaching and giving all this knowledge?
Good question.
Yeah, like I say, it just fills me. Like last night we was on a call, I was telling them, y'all do not make me cry. So inside of my community, I meet with them twice a week. Like I'm their mentor, right? And so I'm coaching them and doing classes, still curriculum. And they were giving me my flowers on the call. Like there were new students on the call. Oh, and they're like, yeah, because da da da. And I'm like, y'all stop, y'all about to make me cry. So seeing their wins, it just fills me up. It makes me go harder because I'm like, especially when we get a new student, I be like, oh shit, I gotta really go in now because I want to see them win. So it just lightens me up and makes me keep going because that's what I'm here for. Like that's my why. The why is not just to get money from people. The why is to literally, like I said, I'm scrolling, it's 2020. And I'm like, why your brand look like that? Like I really care and want to see them win.
Period. Let's talk a little more about the T Academy. Can you go a little bit more in depth about what to expect as students? I know we kind of touched on it, but just dive a little deeper. Just, you know what I mean? And how can we sign up and all that stuff?
He went chapter 2 at 30.
Right. So the T Academy is a lot. So you get a lot of a lot of value. When I say that, it's because I've designed it like a school, right? So I have my own app. I need to get a face.
That comedy, that funny side, the camera, man, you perfected that over the years, man. Like,
I'm gonna give you a secret though, man. I remember saying my daddy an actor. I don't did a play before, you know what I'm saying? When I was
really?
yeah, man, I think I was in like 6th grade. I used to do some little acting and stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? My old man, he in Dallas, he used to have me had me doing some plays and stuff like that, man. So you know, I got a little acting history.
Yeah,
and I've been a damn fool my whole life.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. I was black and ugly, so I had to be funny.
That's funny because it's funny you say that because I always say I was fat, so I had to be funny.
I say for real, man. We have to be, man. We have to be.
For real.
We're gonna be doing a bunch of fighting.
For real, that's real talk, though, man. That's real talk. So, how you get into the t-shirt business initially? What was the jump in for you?
Man, initially I got in. I was hustling, man. I was hustling and stuff, doing my thing, and in my younger years, man, I did a lot of in and out, man, in and out. So it really had just came to a point where I ain't have no choice but to, like, I wasn't gonna make it another time going back or nothing like that, man. They was gonna probably try to hire me or do something to me. So it was like, it was dire need that I ain't have no choice. A lot of people just jump in it, man. Had plans on opening a t-shirt store. I mean, a clothing store, and I was gonna sell a whole bunch of different clothes, just different brands and stuff like that, just to show my kids, just to have my kids to see a brick and mortar, man, where they could come. Like what Mike got going on right there, man. Beautiful right there, bro. For real, man. I promise. That's some inspiring stuff. I know for the family, for the kids. That's what I was. That was the original plan. You know what I'm saying? But it went from me not wanting to interact or try to reach out to different clothing people and stuff to get their clothes. So I just started focusing on my own stuff. Got into the t-shirts, man, and the t-shirts were really just like, let me start up something. Let me just start selling something. Mm-hmm. So the easiest thing I could think to do was t-shirts.
Yeah.
You know, so I went with the t-shirts. But then and I was on and off for about, man, on and off, like I say, it was really just a side hustle for probably about like 8 years, man. For like 8 years. So it was just, you sell some shirts, things don't go right, you get your job. You know what I'm saying? You're going back to the 9 to 5, keep your bills paid and stuff like that. So it was just a bunch of back and forth, man. But like I said, the pandemic changed everything.
Definitely.
For some reason, the pandemic, it just brought everybody out.
Yeah. Stuck in the house, man.
Yeah.
Stuck in the house.
So what's some I know personally and Seak knows personally, but to the people out there in the world, what's like some of the t-shirts that you use, the brands or the blanks, if you don't mind us asking?
Man, my number one go-to shirt that I'm using right now is Shaka.
Shaka, I'm wearing one. Actually,
yeah, Shaka Active, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
wearing one.
Bro, I get nothing but good feedback from these shirts. Yeah. Nothing but good feedback.
I've heard of that brand.
I think ain't they based in LA?
Yeah, they're LA based. It's mostly a West Coast thing.
It's mostly a West Coast thing.
I got a bag of them right here next to me. I get them right across town. They're thick. They're streetwear shirts.
Yeah, they streetwear shirt, active shirts, man. Man, I get nothing but good feedback. If I get a little soft for the females, for the ladies, Bella Canvas, but my go-to is Cotton Heritage. Have y'all ever heard of Cotton Heritage?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've never heard.
Cotton Heritage got some good feeling shirts, man. It's like a thick Bella Canvas.
So you actually using premium t-shirts out here. Are you
t-shirt man?
Yeah, I got to, man. I'm hitting for like $30 a shirt.
Yeah, man.
Are you using transfers, vinyl, screen print? What we doing, man?
Transfer, man. I'm a transfer guy, man. I'm a transfer guy. I'm gonna tell y'all the secret. It ain't even really no secret. I tell anybody who asks. But bro, as long as I've been selling shirts, as long as I've been in the t-shirt game, I've never had a cutter. I've never used vinyl.
You told me that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just interacting and moving and grooving with the people that I'm moving and grooving with, man. Now I'm excited. Like when people they don't want to use cut, I want to get it. I'm about to get a cutter, like about to get a cutter and start using vinyl and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
What cut are you getting now?
I'm gonna get the Pro Cameo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get the Cameo Pro. I was thinking cricket, man, but then it's just man, bro. I don't know. Man, I don't want to say it, man. I don't want to start it. I know it used to be something big about that, but I flip flop.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the Cameo is a good investment, man. Especially like you coming in. Cricket, people love their crickets. Cricket is a household name as far as vinyl cutters go.
Yeah, they love them crickets. I ain't gonna say nothing about cricket. I'm getting the Cameo though.
I said something about a cricket one time, and I got my life threatened, bro.
Man, they try to blackball. They try to blackball.
Yeah, man, I ain't get that shit.
I remember that, man. Seak had to explain himself every show, man.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I want a cricket now, though. I want to try cricket. I would like to try it out, test it out, give it a run, but
just cause.
Yeah. See what the hype is.
So you can tell me you running this brand or your brands with just transfers in the heat press?
Transfers in the heat press.
That's all you need.
Transfers in the heat press. I be telling people, man, don't put too much thought into it, man. You got the passion, you got a notion for the motion, you feel like doing it, get the grooving, man. Get to doing what you do. For real. It don't take much. It don't take much.
So I'm just curious, what was your first heat press though?
My first heat press was I think 17 by 24 Gecko. Cost me like $200.
Yeah, see, that's easy money right there.
Man, I had that heat press for 8 years. 8 years strong. Running. Yeah. It didn't give me no problems until I broke it.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, that's dope though. That's the one that fell on you?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one I dropped.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that video was hella funny, man.
I promise I lean to that, man, because it's me. It's me just being me. And enjoy, man, when you on social media, what they say, you gotta be teaching somebody something.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be entertaining somebody. You gotta be entertaining to people, making people laugh or something.
Yeah.
Or you just gotta be trauma. I mean, a whole bunch of drama.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's a way to go too.
Yeah, I ain't with that though.
Yeah.
The drama, it's crazy how entertaining drama is though.
I know some people running with it, man. I know some people they running with it, man. They running it up with it. I said I can't do it, but hey, it's social media, and that's
So I got another question though. So you said you started 10 years ago?
Yep.
So 10 years ago, how did you find out about transfers? Because way back then, transfers they was trying to sell you the information on where to buy a transfer and all that. How'd you find out about transfers?
How did I find out about transfers? I really think on the cool, I think it was some YouTube, because I was going hard. I was going hard with YouTube, man. Like when I first started, I think a video on YouTube, man. A video on YouTube may have said something about some transfers, because I was going with screen printing off the rip. Like that's the first, like I was outsourcing, getting my stuff screen printed. Yeah, I'm trying to do my own t-shirt brand and stuff like that. And I think I probably looked up screen printing online, and some transfers popped up.
Yeah, back then, man, like even as of like 5 years ago, people like to know where to buy a transfer from. That was a secret.
It tripped me out.
They was trying to sell you the information and all that.
It trips me out. It trips me out, man. It trips me out, bro. Because I promise, like, it's on there. Like that's why when people I be seeing people who don't realize that they don't even know about transfers.
Yeah.
Like how?
Real talk. People, it's crazy. And even today though, people are still selling. Just pay this $29.99. I tell you where you can buy some transfers. I've seen that so many times. I made a little video on that, like just saying, like I don't see